Ryan with Miss.Geek here, and today we're going to take a look at an update posted by Hans Summers himself of QRP Labs yesterday about shipping of the QDX. But there's also more. We're also going to look at a sneak peek at the QRP Labs QDX test jig that you aren't going to find anywhere else. And we're also going to talk about a hardware modification that was thought to be needed for using an external amplifier that is no longer needed. So I know that these videos are just for fun. You could probably go read this yourself, but I think it's fun to talk about it and to take a look at some of the adventures that Hans goes through. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, I get to live vicariously the life of a QRP Labs employee, if you will, or at least a groupie, by reading these things. And I have fun with it, and I hope you have fun too. And if you're having fun, please help me out, hit subscribe, and enjoy these videos along with me. Speaking of subscribers, this week, Miss.Geek, that's me, we hit 500 subscribers here on YouTube. Now, in YouTube terms, 500's little, but in Ryan terms, that's a big deal. Thank you. Like, seriously, genuinely, thank you to my subscribers. You guys are awesome. And gals. I know we've got people of all genders with us, many and varied as they are. So thank you. I really appreciate you, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel with me. So to take a look at this, just going to go do some highlights. I mean, I'll give you the link below. You can go read the thing in full. Basically, some of the things that he mentioned was that he thought he would have everything all together and ready to go, but that didn't happen, especially with as many QDX were sold in only 14 minutes. There's also quite a bit of a mess to unravel because the server just couldn't keep up. And so there were orders in the wrong state of completion. There were some that were paid that might not have been marked that way, and vice versa. So he's got to go through all the PayPal receipts here and make sure that everything was just right. Then he went to go pack up the first one for pickup by somebody local, and he found that the kits were prepared back in 2020 by previous workers, and they didn't put any enclosure screws in the enclosure kits. So they had to go unpack 400 and some of those and pack 8 screws in each one. Can you imagine if those had gone out without those screws? The other thing is that he also had to build a test jig for the QDX. Now, if you remember the QCX Mini debacle, there were a lot of QCX Minis that were DOA because they had defective op amps that were installed at the factory. That is something Hans had never dealt with before. It caught him off guard. So after that happened, he has made a test jig for all the new transceivers that are going out so that they are tested and programmed and everything before they leave. So I think that's really awesome, and we'll have a look here at the test jig in just a moment. So he also reminds that he is a little business, not Amazon. Please be patient. Now here's some interesting shipping details. Everyone will get an email notification when your order is shipped, informing you of the tracking number. If you ordered TNT FedEx shipment, you will also get another email from them with a tracking link. If you ordered with Post Office Airmail, you can use the tracking code at 17track.net. However, note that in 2021, there's more spam because it's fraud. Check your spam folder. Okay, check your spam folder for these notifications. Also, if you're in the US like me, charter.net blocks emails from QRP Labs. Who knows why? They're not even going to people's spam folder. So if you're on Charter and you ordered with a charter.net address, you might just log in to QRP Labs. I think if you log into shop.qrplabs.com, you can see your order status. I think. Don't quote me on that. But you'll never get the emails. So you could look for the email for TNT FedEx. That would have your tracking information in it. So anyway, so there's a lot of information there. And, you know, go easy on Hans. He's doing the best he can. That's all I can say. I've been in his position on the support side of things in the business that I'm professionally work in, and having a huge influx of orders and having the support that comes along with those can be really stressful. So just remember, he's one man. He has workers, but at the end of the day, it's very much similar to a one-man show. Now, he did post a picture of the test jig, and this is a great picture, and it shows a QDX in the test jig. But I have pictures. I have more pictures to share with you. So here is another picture, probably of the same board, in a test jig, and you can see it a little bit more clearly here, close up of the QDX board, and he's got it held on with a couple of standoffs, probably on other standoffs. But check this out. That is the test fixture itself, and the test fixture itself is itself a QDX that has been sacrificed, given its life, so the other QDX may live. And so you can see the pogo pins here, and pogo pins are basically spring-loaded, gold-plated electronic connectors to connect one board to the other temporarily. And they're spring-loaded, that's why he has to hold them down. You can see the studs he's got here, and those are held down by those studs to make a solid connection. And I was thinking about it. I think that this connector is probably for burning the bootloader, which is, he called it the, I don't know, it had a Q in it. It was a bootloader for the QDX that will only run QDX firmware. And then the USB for loading the firmware, and of course power. So that's a guess. If you have a guess, let me know below. Or if you know, or if Hans, if you're watching this, feel free to comment. Set me straight. Now, so this is really cool, and I think it's really neat that Hans has done this so that every QDX that leaves the shop will have been tested. So that's pretty important, guys and gals. So what else? Oh yes, the amplifier. If you're going to use an amplifier, he says, use the QCX 50 watt PA. Tune it for 25 watts, not 50. It's not made for the power for the duty cycle of digital. It's made for CW. So tune it down to 25 watts. And then there is a signal on the board that can be harvested and to use, can be used for PTT on the amplifier. Now, earlier this week I posted a video that said that firmware and hardware modifications would be needed. Turns out that's not the case. It already exists. So you will be able to go to this board and pick a. I'm sure Hans is going to publish all this stuff, but be able to pick a spot on the board to solder a wire to it, and then run that out the case. So you'll have to drill a hole in the case. But he also mentioned that in another revision of the QDX, there will be a spot dedicated to pulling the PTT signal out. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I sure do appreciate it. And if you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe, because I will be building one of these along with an amplifier and documenting the heck out of it for your sake, and have some fun along the way. Take care. We'll see you next time.